Welcome back everybody, good to see you safe. I've had an interesting time trying to record this. Yesterday, I set out to try and record this sector and a bit of the next one coming up. Only problem is the incredible heat got in the way. We unfortunately lost power partway through recording, so I was cut off for what I wanted to do. And that also wound up making some of my recordings corrupted, so sadly, I couldn't keep the outtakes I wanted. Bit bothersome, but not much I can do. Now, it's not even summer and it was particularly hot that day. I don't like hot weather one bit, despite the fact I've lived in Australia my entire life, grown up with it. It's just not my thing for some reason. I have never been good with it. If we shoot somewhere around here, we can go and get a missile tank while I'm discussing the weather. It was incredibly hot, the hottest November day on record, which admittedly dates this, but it is important to mention that in context. Incredible heat, vicious winds, dust storms. Almost felt like we were on Tatooine. And I suppose it was appropriate that I was trying to record the super hot sector on a super hot day, but as I mentioned, things just went wrong. I would have been fine if I'd been able to actually keep those recordings, but unfortunately the power going out did result in me losing pretty much everything, so I couldn't even keep the amusing mishaps I had. Still, these things happen, and I've got a better idea of what I'm doing now, which I'm sure you will all appreciate after I got lost trying to do this the first time. Take care of these Gerriters, and we can move on and grab a couple more missile expansions. We'll see some Funes around here. They can be defeated by charge shots this time around. Or missiles if you like, whereas super missiles were the way to deal with them in the previous games. We will of course need to shoot this in order to get to where we need to go. So, I do apologise for things going a little bit wrong that first time, but I suppose that's just part of the experience. You can't always be good at everything, and I admit I'm a bit of a perfectionist, the sort of person who likes to just get things right so I can deliver the best possible experience. It doesn't always work out like that, especially not if you start landing on the enemies you're trying to dodge. But overall, I think things have been going pretty smoothly. Now, in terms of those outtakes I mentioned, that was a lot of damage. One of them was trying to get a missile expansion in Sector 6 that I really shouldn't have. You will see what I was talking about a little later on. For now, we can grab a missile expansion in here. That was a bit of a surprise. I didn't expect to miss, but then again, I have mentioned my terrible accuracy so many times. But yeah, between intense heat, speaking of intense heat, that door leads to a superheated area, so don't go in there. Intense heat and all the other problems with summer, I don't like it. I admit it wasn't too bad when I was growing up, but things seem to have got worse for Australia as far as summer goes. I can understand why people don't like winter. Australia doesn't really have problems with winter like most places do because it's so hot. Basically, we just have to deal with terrible summers, and our winters are pretty much a respite. We don't have blizzards, we don't have intense snowfalls, we don't have sub-zero temperatures, unless you're up on the mountains. Can I grab them? There we go. Summer is pretty horrible, frequently getting temperatures over 40 degrees, which nowhere near as much when I was a kid. Just in general, intense heat, rampaging bushfires, lots of animals that want to try and kill you, and a whole lot of insects as well. It can be particularly strange for people to realise that yes, we do actually have Christmas in the middle of summer. It's not too bad, you can get a nice barbecue, but I just don't enjoy the heat at all. I've always been a cold weather person because I found it a lot easier to handle the cold weather. You can rug up, you can go out for a walk or play soccer or something like that, the things I enjoy doing. Move very carefully through here. We have sovas, I think they're called, on the ceiling, and side hoppers. And what was I saying about being careful? I just ran straight into flame. But you got to admit, the background here looks beautiful. The heat effects are actually quite nice, when you're not experiencing them, that is. We can go in here, and this is our data room. We're finally getting the super missiles. We now have much stronger missiles. They replace the regular ones. And of course, something is going wrong. A massive hole has been smashed in the floor, but it does mean we can actually access a save room, a recharge room, which I'll use, just to keep myself topped up. And those blue Gerons can be destroyed by your super missiles. 3 of those will do the trick. And they'll take out a few enemies in one shot. Don't be afraid to use them, we've already got plenty of missiles. That is, if you are following along with me while playing the game, and I can tell you there are better guides than me. I'm pretty terrible at what's coming next. A whole lot of thumping and crashing, and a security robot appears out of nowhere. Dodge those balls that shoots out and the columns of flame that spit out. They will oscillate up and down, so get yourself into a position to dodge them and hit the center of the robot. Whoops. This is not a good situation for somebody like me who's a terrible shot. I'm taking too many diagonal shots. You have to break that core in the center. As you can tell, I'm a terrible shot. Alright, we've got it damaged. We can actually see that inside the center of this security robot is an organic core. And there we go, that's actually the best I've done while trying to record this, despite my really, really terrible shooting. And the ceiling comes down on our heads. This is our way out. We'll have a few more things to find along the way. But we're pretty much done for now with this sector. There are fake blocks in the floor we can shoot out of the way. And super missiles will take care of the side hoppers. Clear all the enemies out of the way. Then start running. No, stop, don't go, god damn it. Alright, thanks Samus, I didn't actually realize you could do that, I don't want to be down here. Alright, can I actually get across here? Yes, I can, because there is a pickup we need in that previous room. I'll have to kill all the enemies again, which is a little bothersome. And they do very quickly reform, so grab all the parasites you can. Don't shoot the door. So what we need to do is to jump up there and then unleash our Shine Spark. Little faster than that, sadly. I'll cut it out if it starts taking too long. There we go. Funny how I start screwing this up when it worked alright, and then Box was screwed up all the other times, and that goes easily. But yes, that robot's name is BOX. I'll put on screen what it's meant to stand for. I'll have to take care of the enemies around here because we can get a missile... Not a missile tank, an energy tank actually. Head up here and do some fairly frantic bomb jumping. For some reason that doesn't want to blow. There we go. Nicely hidden there. But we can move on. So, while it's been a bit of an adventure actually getting here because of the weather and everything, things are going to go fairly smoothly. Now, I probably mentioned the intense heat and the fires we have to put up in Australia. We really shouldn't have to. I'm not going to get too political. Otherwise, I'd be ranting for a long time. Let's just say I don't agree with the direction the government takes, but I do have a lot of appreciation for our firefighters. They do a hell of a job no matter where you are, so always pay them plenty of due respect. Let's get some exposition.
I see that you encountered a rogue security robot. You may destroy it if you meet it again. Your safety is vital. But as to your brief, Level 2 security logs are released, so Sectors 5 and 6 are open. That means those sectors have likely been infiltrated by X. They are much harder to stop than we initially suspected. Sector 5 ARC is sub-zero. You're still susceptible to cold from the vaccine side effects, so you'll take damage if you even set foot inside there. Avoid Sector 5 for now, but in the meantime, HQ is working on data to adjust your suit for extreme temperatures. Once we have the transmission, you can download it, but the X have destroyed all the data rooms you have used so far. I no longer doubt their capacity for critical thought. You'll have to use the data room in the night habitat, Sector 6, NOC. Go to Sector 6 and access a navigation room there. Is your objective clear? Tread lightly, Samus. You are the only one who can do this. And the X may be much more dangerous than we know.
We are ready to go on another adventure. Hello, what's this? Does Samus suspect anything?
No, I do not think so.
Good. Monitor her closely.
Affirmative. Out.
So what's going on behind the scenes? What sort of shadowy figures are involved? We can dash along the way. And here we are at the elevator to Sector 6. We'll wrap this particular episode up after a bit of exposition. Get that out of the way, and then we can get on with exploring the nocturnal habitat.
The Variosuit data is here from HQ, ready to download. Get moving to a data room. But there's a problem. X from the Sub-Zero Sector ARC are in Sector 6 NOC. And they've been changed by the cold. If you absorb one, you'll be frozen from within. This seems like a deliberate tactic. Once you download the Variosuit modification, you'll be out of danger. Just be extremely careful until then. The NOC data room is here. Remember, avoid the blue X. Use your beam to stun them in order to get by. Is your objective clear? Be careful. They are hunting you actively now, Samus. And this area is very dark. Proceed with extreme caution.
So, things go from bad to worse for Samus. But we'll soldier on in the next episode. Thank you very much for joining me, and I'll see you next time for more Metroid Fusion. Stay safe out in space, everyone.